Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. Welcome to Wild Monday. Welcome to the Wild West. Wow. I've seen it all now. We'll talk about it, obviously. We'll talk about the new, I don't even know what to call these things anymore. OCTO. Wow. In fact, one of my members posted it this morning when it was only up 1,000%. And then Uh, yeah, now it's up 8,000% or something. I don't even know. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the macro. Pretty important week, actually. Probably not as important as next week, which is the Fed decision, interest rate cut decision. 25 is in the bag, 25 basis points cut. Some people are going for 50, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to be positive for the markets or not, but we'll find out next Wednesday. And so welcome to Trading with Sergio. So this week's schedule is going to be a little different because I have a previous engagement for Wednesday that I had spoken for a while ago. So Wednesday is not going to happen. Wednesday members only live is going to happen, but the Trading with Sergio is not going to happen. I have to do a webinar. But today I'm here, so I'll hang out a little bit longer than usual. I'll post a link if you guys want to show up. I'm here. Just grab the link. Just make sure your internet connection is good and you're in a quiet place so we can chat. What's going on? Well, as I said, pretty busy week with macro. Let me pull up if I can find it. Let me pull up what's happening this week. Important stuff, actually. I mean, they're all important, but this week, leading into next week, I think is going to be pretty damn important. Let me see where that is. I don't know. I'll talk about that in a minute once I find it. Go to X. Somebody posted it on X, I'm sure. Okay. I like the Coinbase letter, by the way. They do. I mean, some of it is fluff, but I like their posts. They're to the point. There's not much talking your book going on like everybody else's these days. And here it is. Okay, so what's happening this week? This week, tomorrow, 12-month BLS data revisions are coming out. We know what's going on with the BLS, right? The musical chairs at BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. President Trump fired the person. There's a new person. Look, BLS numbers are antiquated. I don't think we can run a $30 trillion GDP economy with BLS, which is backwards looking. I mean, there's other things that hedge funds or Wall Street follows, such as ADP data, which is live, and BLS is just with all these revisions, right? Basically, for the whole year, there was no job growth with the revision. So I think we need a better system because it's moving markets, right? So what happens is that BLS announces the number 1 month, the unemployment numbers, let's say, or employment numbers, whichever way you want to look at it, and then next month they revise it down, a couple 100,000. Like what happened to those 200,000 people? They disappeared. So I don't like dealing with data that's not only not pure, not live, but also get revised every single month, right? And I mean, BLS puts out a lot of data, but all of it seems like it's been false so far. And what happens though is that when the numbers come out, market moves, and then the revision comes out, market moves again. So this is the 12-month BLS data revision tomorrow. Let's see what happens there. Wednesday, August PPI, pretty important. August Producer Price Index. Look, folks, there's no sugarcoating it. Inflation is running pretty hot. It's not down to the Fed 2% mandate. I don't think it's going to get there, especially now that we're cutting rates. So that's going to be important for the markets to watch. On Thursday, OPEC monthly report. OPEC is inconsequential. Nobody cares. But more importantly than that, obviously, on Thursday, so Wednesday PPI, Thursday CPI, Consumer Price Index. Look, I've done a lot of videos about governments gaslighting everybody. Inflation is not running at 2.5%. Even with their 2.6%, it's not. It's just not. It's a lot higher than that. The people who are putting these numbers out, I don't think they go out shopping. And I'm sure they do, but there are reasons for inflation to go down. If the economy slows down, spending is going to slow down, so automatically inflation will kind of subside, but we'll see. So we got Wednesday, Thursday, CPI, PPI and CPI. Friday, Michigan consumer sentiment data. That's also, and Michigan inflation expectations data. So far, all those surveys are showing that the consumer is pulling back a little bit. They're not optimistic going forward, and their inflation expectations are way higher than what the government's putting out, what the BLS or the Fed is putting out, right? So, to me, the important thing is, trade what's in front of you, deal with it. Yes, markets are moving, but you just kind of have to get good at reading the tea leaves, and depending on who you are, what you do. I mean, if you're a long-term investor, I don't know if you care too much about any of this fluff, but if you're a short-term trader, swing trader, day trader, scalper, whatever you are, as long as you know who you are, what you're good at, stick to that. That's what I try to do. Let's see what else. Let me post. Let's post the StreamYard link. If anybody wants to come on, you guys are more than welcome to do so. And here it is. All right. So as you guys know, I run this channel with extreme full transparency, wins, losses, gains, whatever. So far, it's been a good year. I'm not going to lie. Way above the benchmarks, probably 5x range. Struggle though. It's tough. Drawdowns are there. But as long as you keep them to a minimum, you should be okay. And I post my positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the community page of the YouTube channel, full transparency. And then the disclaimer is none of this is trading, financial, or investment advice. What I do is very risky. Do your own due diligence. Your account size may not be able to handle what I do. So no headaches later on. That's the disclaimer, obviously. So you can tag along, you can follow. I don't know what people do with their own money, but there is a delay, obviously, because I'm only posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday the open positions. But then on every live stream, I share my open positions. And the other thing is, so the schedule for this week is going to be today trading with Sergio, Wednesday no trading with Sergio, which is the regularly scheduled programming, but I will do the members only live. And let's see. At 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And then on Friday, back to Power Hour. And next week, full schedule, Monday, Wednesday. And Wednesday is basically probably one of the more important days of the year with the Fed decision, interest rate cut decision. So that's the schedule this week. So one of my members actually has a hot hand, so we're trying to tag along. But so what the members get my trades live. I have a Telegram chat group. If you want to support the channel that way, click join. Send me an email, sergio@sergioavedian.com. I will send you the Telegram chat group link. And so what they get is they get the trades live. Again, none of it trading, financial, or investment advice. But, some tag along, some don't tag along. But my intent for this channel is not for me to feed trades to people. I don't care. What my intent is to inform and educate and pay it forward. And I believe the members have improved quite a bit since they joined. I think we're about 40 strong at the moment, or 38 strong, whatever we are. And the other thing the members get is they get the live streams every Wednesday, which is more on one-on-one kind of a situation. And they get the replays, obviously, if they miss it, but they get the trades live and they get my open positions at the end of each day. So, all right, once that out of the way, let's talk a little bit. I put a couple of videos out over the weekend. They did well for the size of my channel, obviously. What were they about? They were about Bmnr and Sbet, and it seems like a lot of people holding the bag on those things. And there is one bag that's being created that I totally believe it's being created, which is OCTO, Octo. Shout out to Mike, one of my members. He posted it this morning before the market opened at 16. So stock had closed at $1.35. Opening at 16. It's not my nature to buy things when they open up 1,000%. So I go, not a chance. I'm not touching that thing. He did. He made some money. And sure enough, it just hit 80, right? So what is Octo? Octo is another treasury asset company investing in something called WorldCoin. Tom Lee, Bmnr, invested 20 million in it. So they did a pipe at 145, raised $250 million. Dan Ives of Wall Street fame, probably as famous as Tom Lee. He's the chairman now. So it seems like this is the new game in town. The new game in town is you put a forward-looking face or a very famous personality of Wall Street as the chairman of these companies, and they're going in. And they did the pipe at $1.46. 175 million shares they floated for $250 million. So the pipe investors are up at 80. They're like up 70x or something, some ridiculous number. However, they're not going to be able to sell. This reminds me pretty much of what happened with Sbet and Bmnr, right? What happened when initially that was announced. Bmnr, I think, went to 170. Sbet went to 160. And then look where we are, right? For my money, I think Octo is a great short, but then it's really difficult to short these things because you can get your face ripped. And if you did short it at the open saying, oh, it's up 1,000%, how much more it could go up, you would have gotten your face ripped. It only went up 5x more after 1,000%. So you got to be really careful with these. And I still think it's a great short, but I'll probably short a few hundred shares if it's available. That's the other thing. The availability to short, it'll depend on the broker you're working with. Robinhood, there's no shorting at Robinhood, so forget about Robinhood. But there's obviously Interactive, there's Schwab, right? I don't know if Tasty has any shares available to short. I'll just take a look at it if I can short it or not. I don't mind look, a few hundred shares is not going to make me or break me, but then I don't believe this thing belongs at 80. And so now what they're going to do is they're going to dilute, right? They're going to start immediately selling shares because with the 175 million pipe they put out, or 175 million shares at $80, company's worth already $2 billion-ish. And they're only going to buy $250 million worth of WRD, WorldCoin. So look, it's a little bit different than Bmnr and Sbet. But so I have another video coming out explaining MNAV on Bmnr and Sbet today. Please go check it out. I have been super patient with both Bmnr and Sbet. I posted my positions on Friday. Not much has changed on those positions. Actually, I'll go through it in a minute. If anybody wants to come on, you guys are more than welcome to grab the link. It's right here. So, Doug, good morning. SJ, good morning. Yeah, Sbet moving today. I think Ethereum is just up 1%. So what happened is that both Bmnr and Sbet got under 1 MNAV. That's the holy grail, right? So I waited and waited and waited and waited. And the same thing is happening on MSTR now. It seems like it's going to par. But I'm not in that yet. So what's happening to ETH today is 43.30 up 1.23%. It got up to 43.80. So yeah, it's been consolidating, right? If ETH gets above 4,500, I think we're going to have some fun. But until then, we'll keep the positions as they are. What else? So be careful when you're trading these things. The trades I'm putting on, or I have on, are defined risk downside to the downside. Because look, what if ETH goes to 3,500? People say, oh, it's not possible. Why is it not possible? Anything is possible on Wall Street. So if ETH goes to 3,500, where is Bmnr and Sbet going to be? The new investment of Bmnr in Octo is going to probably help a little bit, but since they cannot sell the shares, I'm sure there is a lockup period for the PIPE. I didn't read the whole PIPE yet, but PIPE meaning private investment in public equity. So they're all qualified, probably hedge funds, Wall Street types, whatever they are. The public cannot buy that. So public is buying it at 70, 80, 60, 50, whatever. They're going to hold the bag. I have no doubt that they are, because MNAV is going to get crushed on that, without a question. So MNAV got crushed on Bmnr and Sbet. Sbet actually got down to 0.8, I think, when it was about 14 and change, low 14s. Today, I think it's up to about 1570. Now, could MNAV get back to 1 without ETH moving higher? Potentially. But it seems like there's definitely a hand pushing these things down. So two things that I want to mention is that, in this video today that's coming out, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever for Sbet or Bmnr to do ATMs, right? They both have shelf offerings. So the shelf offering is an announcement that they could sell shares, they could sell debt. Well, fortunately, at the moment, they haven't done debt issuance, such as MSTR is doing with Michael Saylor doing convertibles. When you do the convertibles, you have to consider the debt into MNAV, obviously, and they haven't done it yet. But could they do it? For my money, whatever cash they have at hand, what they should be doing, my opinion anyway, they should be buying back shares. Tom Lee said so. They have about $1 billion buyback if it goes below MNAV. Oh, where's the buyback announcement, right? They should buy back shares, and then Ethereum per share is going to go up because you're retiring shares. And it makes no sense to do ATM at the market stock sales when MNAV is under 1. It's basically eating your own flesh. It doesn't make sense whatsoever, like none. Diluting shareholders under MNAV is ridiculous. They shouldn't be doing it, but I don't know if they're doing it or not, but the announcement will come out. There's two problems here with this, right? So if MNAV is under 1, they cannot do ATM sales. They should not. They can do whatever they want, but they should not. What's going to happen is that, though, if they are doing ATM sales under 1 MNAV, they're literally diluting a lot more than they should be diluting, right? It's basically, so for me, if I buy Sbet, which I don't like buying the shares, I structured an option trade. I like to stick with that. My point in all of this is this. I'm looking at it as buying a dollar bill for 80 cents if MNAV is at 80.80. That's the way I'm looking at it. But is there a downside? Absolutely, there is downside, because it's a complete and 100% proxy to ETH. There's no ifs and buts about it. That's it. It's an Ethereum treasury asset company. Same thing with Bmnr. Under MNAV, they should be doing buybacks with whatever cash they have on hand, reduce the share count, and then ETH per share is going to go higher. So MNAV may recover that way, but 0.80 to me is at a discount. So 0.80, let's say, is 20% discount, right? So that also may mean that I'm buying Ethereum at a 20% discount as well. Instead of 4,300, I'm buying it at 3,500. So in case ETH goes to 3,500, because MNAV is already 0.80, it may not get affected as much in the stock price. However, there's no saying that MNAV it cannot go to 0.5. It could, right? I mean, this is a new game we're all playing. We're just getting acclimated to this treasury asset company game. Yes, Michael Saylor with BTC and MSTR strategy has been doing this for a while, right? So all these, I'm not going to call copycats because there's billions of dollars coming in and from institutional side, but MNAV could shrink some more, or it could jump to over 1 again. We don't know. We don't. But to me, I waited patiently, and it made total sense to me to put on these trades when MNAV got under 1. I didn't do it with shares. I don't want to do it with shares because I think shares have a lot more risk. So I created I structured the trade with January options and October options in a manner that I have limited downside and I have all the upside. If, okay, let's say ETH rallies to 6,000. Well, Sbet and Bmnr are going to fly. Even if they keep the 0.8, 0.9 MNAV, because their Ethereum holdings are going up, the stock price is going to go up. But you know, you have to figure out what your risk is before you get into the trade. So the way I put those trades on is about 4.2 to 1 to the upside. And if nothing happens, if they stay exactly the same, I'm doing the trades with the credit. So there's a little bit of money to get, you know, I'm getting paid a little bit to get, you know, I'm getting paid to play. But that's not the point. The point is there's many things that can happen. Sbet could be where it's at. When I go through the position screen, I'll show you guys. But I've explained this multiple times, and hopefully you guys have figured it out. And so, yeah, I also did a day trade today. I'm not a day trader, folks. Left 5K on the table, made about $1,500 in about, I don't know, 10 minutes. Again, one of the members in the chat group posted it. It's down to here. I looked at it and was like, today's high is 15 on the stock. I started buying it at 6, bought it all the way down to 520. Then they halted it on the way up, and now I think it's above 7. But you know, quick money. I'm not going to say no to $1,500, but that's that. I have some other positions. I trimmed some of my positions, so we'll go through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all the positions at the end of the day before 2 p.m. Pacific on the community page of the YouTube channel. Where is the community page? Community page is, if you go to the YouTube channel, in the middle, there's a row. It says videos, shorts, live, and then all the way to the end, just swipe left. You'll see post. Those are the posts. And that's where I post open positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's see who's here. Doug, good morning. SJ, good morning. Traveler, good morning. Hey, Lynn, good morning. Justin says my call says about 2170 curious. Yeah, I mean, you're holding the bag, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be an a-hole here, but I have explained it that I put out many different videos. I don't think you expected it to go to below 1 MNAV, right? And it did. And at 2170, you probably paid 1.3, 1.4 MNAV. MNAV is something that people don't pay attention to. I don't understand why. They just trade the stocks because they listen to Tom Lee or whatever. It doesn't matter if God is coming down. Tom Lee is Tom Lee. Much respect to him. My hat's off to him. Amazing calls he had over the last couple of decades, but he's powerless. The price of the underlying is ETH. This is 100% ETH proxy. You need to figure out MNAV. You need to literally do a spreadsheet, which is very easy to do, and follow MNAV. So you plug in stock price, and then everything, the whole MNAV column should change. So the way you calculate MNAV is you have outstanding shares. That's public information. You multiply that by the current stock price. So that's what your spreadsheet should have, 2 columns. It should say, okay, outstanding shares. Now with ATM sales, that's changing, but you can get a reasonably current one, probably within 24-hour one. And then you multiply that by the current stock price, okay? So now that equals market capitalization. They have no debt. They have minuscule amount of debt, which they haven't done any debt offering like Michael Saylor has. So, okay. And then you have the Ethereum that they're holding. That's the net asset. So you take the Ethereum count that they're holding. I think as of the last couple of days, they haven't bought any. They're holding 837,000 ETH. Well, you take that and multiply that by the ETH price, live ETH price. Now you get the net asset value. Okay. So then you take the net asset value divided by market cap, and you will get a number. You will get, in this case, you will get 0.85, because the net assets of the company, Sbet, is above the market capitalization. Okay. And if you paid 1.5, but I mean, Sbet MNAV was over 2. It was over 3, 4 probably when it was $130 and when all the bag holders got created. And what does Wall Street do, by the way? They've been doing it with MSTR. Jim Chanos did it with MSTR. What they do is they buy the underlying, they buy ETH physically, right? And then they short the shares, pushing MNAV to par, because their belief is, a lot of hedge fund traders' belief is that there should not be a premium in any of these treasury asset companies, and I kind of agree. Why should there be a premium? I might as well go buy ETH myself. Why do I have to pay? I get it. I get that there's other things. They're staking it. Like, for example, Sbet has received 2,300 ETH since June 2nd by them staking the ETH holdings or the tokens. I get all that, which they could use for buybacks, or they could use that for adding to their ETH holdings, or all that good stuff. I get all that. I also get Tom Lee's point that tokenization is coming around. Wall Street is about to change again, like it did in the 70s after the gold standard was abolished. Okay, I get that too. But we have a price in front of us. Like, Justin bought it at 21.70. The gold stock is 15.70. He's down 6 points. He's down 30%. It was down more on Friday. So to me, you need to figure all this out if you're going to play this game. This is a brand new game. We're new to this game. We're new to this treasury asset company game. You need to figure all this out before you plop your money down. Or just because some yo-yo on Twitter or YouTube, and there's plenty. I mean, now YouTube algo is feeding me all these Sbet and MNAV, Sbet and Bmnr videos. I'm watching it and I'm going like, what are you people talking about? They put the Tom Lee picture on the thumbnail. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm as straight as it comes. I'm going to tell you if it's a dumb trade or a good trade, in my opinion. They put the Tom Lee picture, they put Sbet with an arrow up, and everybody clicks on it. This was nothing but clickbait. And if you listen to those charlatans, you're going to get screwed. Do your own due diligence. This is not that hard to do, right? And that's what I'm trying to do on this channel, because I don't think there is a channel out there that just operates with full transparency. Look, I've been on Wall Street for 35 years. I've been on the best trading desks. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm just trying to pay it forward and teach and educate. And but these yo-yos on Twitter or YouTube or whatever they are, they go, oh, Tom Lee's doing this. Who gives a shit what Tom Lee is doing? There's an underlying price of ETH. There's an underlying price of the equity. Are you a long-term holder? Do you believe ETH is going higher? Do you believe ETH is going to 15,000? If you do, don't worry about the price of Sbet or Bmnr. Just buy it, period. You're going to outperform anything, any financial asset by far, including BTC. So have a conviction, right? Do you believe ETH is going down to 3,000, where it came from? If ETH goes down to 3,000, Sbet will be 5, Bmnr will be 15, regardless of what Tom Lee is doing, regardless of what the world is doing, period. There's a reason for the price to be where it's at. That's your scoreboard. Price does not lie. The current price of what you have done or what you own is the current price. Yes, you want it to be higher, but not. So I trade. I will never, like, I have a long-term portfolio. I'm about to add my 5th stock into that. I have 4 stocks in there that I've been holding for a while. Well, since April, actually. So I'm about to add 1 more. I will never put one of these things in there as a long-term hold. For a trade, they're wild, they're volatile, they're fun. I trade. I'm right, I'm right. I'm wrong, right? But a lot of people go like, yeah, well, Tom Lee's in it. It must be good. I'm like, Tom Lee is great, but he can't do anything about the price, right? And so to me, if you guys are stuck, I'm sorry. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so let's go to the positions. Yes, please, Justin. Please just subscribe to the channel. I don't care about if you do anything else. And subscribe and you'll learn so much. There's so much good videos already. I did a video about day trading. Okay, 54%. This is all math. It comes down to this. Are there good or profitable, consistently profitable day traders? I don't know too many. So I've traded everything in my life, from commodities, gold, pork bellies, to everything. And then once I retired, I just figured, okay, I'm good at swing trading. I give it overnight exposure a little bit. Obviously, a lot of people think day trading takes away risk. Absolutely it doesn't, especially on a year like this year where one tweet can absolutely rip you off by the time you set your stops. And then you start drawing all these 50,000 different lines on your chart, create more bias for yourself. So long story short, there are statistics for this, okay? If you look at the SPX on a 1 year period, on a day-to-day basis, it's green 54% of the time. Take the commissions out, take the slippage out, it's 50-50. Your chances of making money on day trading is 50-50 exactly. Period. Done. That's the math. But those numbers increase if you look at it over a year period, right? And you look back a decade, in those 10 years, market's green 70%, 73% of the time. If you go to 30 years, market's green 90% of the time. If you go to, I'm talking on average, right? So look, you got to figure out what you're good at. I mean, I try to day trade once in a while, just get bored like I did today. You'll make a couple thousand, you lose a couple thousand, whatever. But I cannot do it every day because, number one, I don't have the time. I cannot be just stuck in front of the screen. And I have a life, other things, and swing trading, works out for me. Day trading is tough. It's very, very tough. Anyway, I'm going to go to the position screen. So there's the link, folks. If you guys want to grab it and come on, you're more than welcome to. All right, here's the positions. By the way, who the heck does this in this world? Nobody shows positions. Okay, so let's go. Same position as so let me just go through it. What I have is, let's see how many positions. Oh, this is my day trade, so it's inconsequential. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. Now, the Bmnr started as a synthetic meaning I was short put credit spread. With some of that money, I went and bought a call debit spread, and Bmnr went against me, actually, like it did with everybody else. I think I went down all the way to 40. So I only put on 20 lots. That's the other thing, folks. I have a 6-figure trading account, and you got to size everything correctly. If you don't size correctly, you're going to get smashed. Could I have put in 100 lots of this? Of course I could, because it's such an equity efficient trade. I could have, but I said, no, enough is enough. So long story short, I had put on a synthetic, selling a put credit spread, with that money buying some call debit spreads. Since it went down, you're not seeing the fourth leg. This looks like a 3-leg trade, but it was a 4-leg trade. Basically, I sold the 45 puts for October expiration, October 17 regular expiration, bought the 40 puts. So that's my put credit spread. Okay. Stock is a 43.75, 44, let's say. Okay. And then with that money, I turned around and bought a 50.70. So I bought the $50 calls on Bmnr. And this is, I did when the stock was like 45. I bought the $50 call, sold the 70 calls. Then stock goes down to, breaks 40 actually. I think it went down to 39 range. And last Friday, I bought the short leg of the calls back, short leg of the call debit spread back. So I already made about 60% on those. But I'm down, as you guys can see the pricing. I'm down on the long calls of the call debit spread, but I'm about even actually on the long calls because I took in about 60% on the short side. So I'm managing this trade. I'm watching it carefully. I think it'll be okay. So you guys are going to say, well, what is the purpose of this trade? The purpose of this trade is for Bmnr to go to 60, 70, 80 by October. That's only going to happen if ETH goes to 6,000. Okay? Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. But what will happen is that because I put in a put credit spread on, if the stock is about 45, I'm going to collect all that premium. So I'm getting paid to play at this point. At some point, I will get rid of the calls, the long side, if we're not going to move, because data is absolutely like it's decaying it, right? The time decay. So that's that trade. This is my day trade today. I literally, here it is. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I don't hide anything. So show average prices, about 3,500 shares, average called 565. Sold it at 607, so 42 cents, I don't know, $1,500 real quick. And then it went to 7. Okay. Well, we left 70 cents on the table. A couple $3,000 on the table. But I don't day trade. But one of my members said, "Oh, INHD is down to this level." I'm like, okay, let me just buy a few thousand shares, and then, hey, I'm not going to kick $1,500 out of bed. Once in a while, I do it. I'm long 200 NEO, October 5 puts, holding those. That's my lottery ticket, but I don't know. I'll probably take a little bit of a hit and get out. Next one is I'm long 4,000 shares of Pioneer Power Solutions, PPSI. Costs 371, stocks 380. It breaks 4. I think we'll squeeze 5 out of that. I'll hold it for now. I've been holding it for a while, actually. Let me go through the last stock, and then I'll go back to Sbet. So TSSI, I was long 2,000 shares. Average cost was like 1270. Sold 500 shares at 1370. Just not holding 1,500 shares. I have some sell orders above. Yeah, I have. This is another thing you guys should be doing. Since if you're not going to watch it, and if you're a swing trader, put some gift orders in. You never know what's going to happen on the buy side and the sell side. So if it goes to 1417 today, I'll sell another 500. Scale in, scale out. Nobody can catch the bottom. Nobody can catch the top. If they see they only buy bottoms and sell tops, run the other direction. They're bullshitters. And last but not least, Sbet, 1591. So actually, it's outperforming. Actually, MNAV is up to 1.87 now, or 0.88. It's definitely outperforming ETH today, which is fine. Good. That's what we want. And 1594. So what do I have? I started with the same synthetic, well, structure of it, not the same strikes, by the way, obviously, because it's a $15 stock. So I have 60 lots, right? I put on a 17 and a half, 15, put credit spread with that money, with credits actually up to $1. I bought the I bought the 20 calls and sold the 30 calls, just like on Bmnrs, because it went against me initially. I bought the calls back at 55% gain, but of course I'm down 45% on the calls, but now I'm free. If we do run, even if the calls get back to even with the money I collected on the short leg, I'll be fine, and the put credit spread is going to hit the wall. So I'm good. But the other thing I did, it kept going against me, kept going lower. So now I changed the structure of it. I go a little bit more longer term, and I changed the strikes, right? And then on Friday, I put on 15 lots. I should have put on more, but 75 lots overall on Sbet, which is equaling 7,500 shares. I think I'm okay with that much. There's no guarantees in this world. So how's this a defined risk trade, right? Well, I have a put credit spread that I put on, collecting $1. My max loss, I already know, is 2.5, less the $1 that I took in as credit. So my max loss is 1.5 with all the upside. That's why I did the trade, right? Otherwise, and I waited until it went below 1 MNAV. And then on Thursday and Friday, I put on 15 lots, lowered the strikes, and extended the duration, the expiration. I sold, same thing though, same synthetic. I'm not covering the short leg yet. So it's a 4-legged trade, obviously. And I sold the 15 puts, bought the 12.5 puts going out to January 2026 on Sbet. Then I turned around, and this I couldn't do with credits because I'm buying at the money calls. Actually, they're in the money now. I bought the $15 calls and sold the $25 calls. So those I did it with about either 10 cent or 20 cent debit, which is fine with me. So at the moment, that part of the trade is profitable, and the other one is nicely profitable. But the 60 lots, now I'm free to the upside without the short leg of the call debit spread. And we'll see if we do get a run to 17.5, maybe, we'll just clean out the call side and leave the credit spread. Hey, you have many choices when you structure trades like this. So yeah, those are the positions. I'm looking to add lemonade to my long-term portfolio. I'm long 4 stocks. I got lucky, super lucky during the crash. I bought Google, I bought Kava, I bought Unity Software, I bought Nike, literally at their lows. And super lucky is nothing to do, nothing more than that. Looking to add lemonade, which is not a lemonade company. Obviously, you guys know it's an insurance company. Watching all these things, I trade. I have a trading account. I have an investment account. Investment account treated completely differently than a trading account. Trading account is just a trade. People go like, "What to do this? What to do that?" I'm like, "Look, I don't know, man. I trade. I trade what's in front of me." In fact, I posted my positions on Twitter, on X, and somebody, I don't know, somebody said, "Oh, those are risky." I go like, "Every trade is risky. Show me a non-risk trade. Every trade is risky." But as long as you know what you're doing up front, like when I put the Bmnr and Sbet on, I don't know if Bmnr is going to go to 20, and I don't know if Sbet's going to 5. I have no idea. But then I know my max losses when I entered the trade, and I know what my upside is. Anytime you give me 4.2, 4.5 to 1, I'll take it. But I don't know. I don't know what the price is going to do, right? Nobody knows what the price is going to do. Would I like it to go to 25 on Sbet? Absolutely. I will crush it. I'll make like 70 grand if that happens. But then will I be able to hold it at that point? Will I trim it? I mean, price takes precedence for me, right? I look at the price. Price is your scoreboard. You can sit there and lie to yourself all you want. It does not work like that. And so, yeah, that's where we are. This is Octo. Actually, I'll go to the charts in a minute. I mean, this thing is just ridiculous. But then, who am I to judge if something is ridiculous or not? Let me go to the front screen. Let's see if you have any questions. No questions. Nobody wants to come on. Why? Why are you guys so shy? Here, I'll post a link again. Somebody come on. No? Good morning, good morning. Okay, when you're using MNAV, are you combining it with indicator? Nope. 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 None of that. It's all bullshit. None of that. Zero. Not when it comes to these. When it comes to regular equities, look, regular equities are quite different than treasury asset companies. Technical analysis on these stocks means nothing to me because there's an underlying that they're moving off of, which is Ethereum price. Means nothing. Honestly, it means nothing. And all these things, fair value gaps, ICT trading, EMAs, look, I'll go to my charts. You guys will see. WeWap, they're all lagging indicators. Show me one that's a leading indicator. Show me one that's going to tell you what the next bar is going to be, what the next candle is going to be. There isn't none. All these technical, I like that. I mean, look, I know technical trading. I'm not making fun of it, but if you guys honestly think institutions trading trillions of dollars of stock by watching technical indicators, you guys are fooling yourselves. They're trading on completely different data sets than drawing a line and saying that's 2-touch point, trend line support. Does it still work to a point? It does, because a lot of people are watching it. So they get triggered, right? They put orders in where, whatever. Look, to me, technical analysis is fine. I know it inside out, but I like naked charts. Because what you do is that you look at a chart, it creates bias. What is the chart showing you? A chart showing you what happened in the past. Is it a good thing to look at? Of course it is. To look back a little bit, pull back a little bit, look at a longer term picture. Yeah. I don't pay any attention on these things, especially Bmnr and Sbet. I mean, look, you can put a MACD on it, right? You can put a WeWap. You can put all those things in there. But it's moving off of the underlying. It's moving off of Ethereum, right? And so I look at this, I put on the trades when I could buy a dollar bill for 80 cents. As simple as I can put it. That's why I pay attention to MNAV. That's why I have a spreadsheet that's calculating MNAV when I enter data automatically. So I waited. If you guys watch me enough, I have the 3 Ps, right? Patience, position size, and planning. Patience, patience, patience. I waited. A lot of people bought at 1.7 MNAV. A lot of people bought 1.5. You probably bought it at 1.4. I bought it at 0.8. Okay, so that's the patience part. Position size. Look at, I just showed my positions. I have 75 lots of, when I say 75 contracts going out to different durations, different strikes on Sbet, and only 20 lots. Could I have done 100 lots? Yeah, easily. But I'm not going to do it because I could be wrong. If I take a max loss on Bmnr, which is 5 points less the premium I took in, it's a lot of money. If I do 100 lots, like I'm going to lose like 30, 40 grand if it's at my max loss. Same thing on Sbet. So I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to get a drawdown, I'm going to keep it at 12% max, maybe 15% max, because I'm just going to liquidate everything and then come back to live for another day. Because a lot of people, you know, those are the people, all these people who bought Sbet for a short-term trade and they just became long-term investors. You don't even know what you own. I don't even know what this thing is. I mean, I know the people behind it, they're credible people, you know, whatever. But it's moving off of Ethereum. If ETH goes up to 6,000 by the end of the year, my January trade is going to look wonderful. If it doesn't go up to 5,000, 6,000 by October, maybe my October series are going to look like crap, and I may end up losing money. It's all part of trading. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. On regular stocks, yes, to a point, I do pay attention to it. My favorite is, if it comes to technical analysis, my favorite is on the daily charts, MACD, bullish bearish divergences. I think those work relatively well. And, you know, we'll probably have a couple of those that I can look at. But let's go through some charts. And let's do it. So this is Octo. From $1 and change. Low today was literally, the low was one of my members said Octo, and I look at it and I'm like, I said, it's already 16. He goes, so he bought and sold it, and he sold it early. He could have cleaned up today. But it goes from $1.46, I think, is where they did the pipe for 250 million. Look at those pipe holders, right? They're 50x up. But by the time the lockup comes around, this thing is not going to be anywhere near it. So I mean, I said it was a good short. I think it's a great short. It probably was a great short, but we'll see. We'll give it a couple days, because it's going to be exactly looking like this on Octo. Look what happened to Bmnr when Tom Lee said, this is 1 day, 1 year charts, by the way. So here's your MACD, possible potential bullish divergence happening here, but no big deal. Same thing happened. It went from 392 to 161. And same thing happened on SharpLink. Where are they now? I think we're, yeah, SharpLink, same thing. It went from It went from $3 to 124. Where are we now? Now it's a pure proxy, and all the Wall Street that sold you, oh, they should be selling at a premium. Why? Can anybody come on and explain to me why any of these things should be selling at a premium? Granted, they should not also be selling at a discount to MNAV, which is 1, right? Okay, well, they pushed it under 1, so I go, okay, I'll step up at 80 cents. Could it go to 70 cents? Could it go to 0.7? Could it go to 50? It could. But that's why you put on a defined risk trade. I don't know, but look where it's at, right? So, look, I mean, everything, you know, there's no guarantees. Okay. Anyway, this is TSSI that I'm long. Actually, was short that stock. You guys see the labels. I'm not taking the labels off. I'm long, 1,500 shares. I was like, there's a potential bullish divergence developing here. So I will hold my 1,500 shares. I'll add to it. I'll probably go up to 3,000 shares. This is the stock I day traded. Holy crap. INHD. I mean, quick little $1,500, no problem. Some of the members did it too, which is great. And yeah, today's high is 16, I think, and low is 6 or 5. How do you... And it's not easy to short these things. By the way, I go short as fast as I go long, but it's really not easy to short these things. You can't borrow. If you borrow, the borrow rates are ridiculously high. So anyway, we can go through the Mag 7, but I'm looking to add Lemonade. It's up a couple already. I'm looking to add Lemonade to my long-term portfolio. I like the company quite a bit. And then once in a while, you have to pull back. You have to pull back and look at where this thing came from. And I mean, we're just coming off a base. I like these types of bases, long-term base. This has happened to Carvana. I was long Carvana 2 years ago. And same thing here. Right? I like these long bases that they come off of. And then go with the, trend is your friend after that. What else is going on? And this is PPSI. I'm long 4,000 shares. I don't know, and it looks okay. I mean, this was the melt up day. Earnings were really good. Yeah, I think there's a shot back to 5.5. I own it at 370, so I'm okay with it. What else am I watching? Well, I'm watching a whole bunch of things. One of the stocks I was watching is ASTS. Kind of broke down. I was short ASTS. Sezzle, I was short. Covered early. That's kind of trying to base, but I don't know. Lululemon, Disasteros. Yeah, it's a 3-day rule. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. People go like Tesla. I go, okay, what about Tesla? Tesla's a wonderful trading. Oh, it's down now, down 4. Okay, Tesla's a wonderful trading stock. Tesla's been dead money for 4.5 years. Now, if you bought 10 years ago, different story. For 4.5 years, it's been absolutely dead money. So is Lulu. So is Nike. You just got to be lucky to just get in there after they get smashed. So is UPS. Look at that thing. I mean, great company, right? Okay, well, isn't UPS, by the way, saying that the economy's in trouble? I think it is. So here's UPS 3 years. Here's UPS 10 years. I mean, look, UPS is back to 83 and change. It's literally where it was. I mean, it's lower than where it was in 2016. Actually, all time. Let's see where that is at. Yeah, UPS is selling 2019 levels. We can go back, literally, we can go back to 2006-07. That's where UPS is at. So if you're buy and hold forever, I don't know. That's very rare. That happens, by the way. Like the stocks like Palantir and whatever, or Nvidia's, and those are rarities. They come, they go. Everything tops, folks. Stocks are meant to be bought and sold. You guys can say whatever you want. Some of the Mag 7, Apple is kind of, it's okay. It's hanging in there. Palantir is either basing, it's going to roll over here and die. Probably, 200 EMA is reasonable, about 116 range. Most likely that's what's going to happen. A lot of people are like, oh, look at that head and shoulder top. I'm like, yeah, I see it. Oh, look at that head and shoulder top with a neckline at 142. I see it. And I'm not sure. Hood got put in the S&P 500. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Oklo is one of the nosebleed ones I'm watching. It's just consolidating. Rocket Lab, same thing. HIMS bottom, double bottomed. I had a good trade on HIMS. Actually, some of my members are still on. Actually, is that reversing now? That's the 2X ETF. I like trading the 2X ETF on all of these, by the way. Oh, that's the 2X ETF. Yeah, it's kind of topping out now. It's only up 78 cents. It was up over $2.50. AMD, probably red. Yeah, I was just wait, patience. See, patience on this one. Yeah, I'll give it a crack at 137, 140 range. Trade the 2X ETF for that. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla, close the gap maybe, down to 3. I mean, look, it's just consolidating, just going sideways. And as most of you can see, I don't draw too many lines, not too many at all, just simple. I don't do candlestick. I like the old world of bar charts. Candlesticks are the same. I know candlesticks, but I prefer bar. Have a volume. window and a MACD window. That's it. And on the short end, I watch it 2-minute 2-day, 10-minute 10-day, and 60-minute 60-day. Those are the intraday charts I watch. Other than that, I don't draw lines. I just, that's it. Just keep it simple. Stupid is the best method. Couple of Chinese stocks that I liked. We traded bunch times. We Ride, which is the Google of China, not Google, Waymo China, and Pony AI. It's holding about $9. And we traded the shit out of it, as you guys can see by the label. Profitably, I might not. Pony AI, same thing. I was short Joby Aviation and Archer. Joby, everybody in the boat. I was short so beautifully, and then it got shaken out when it did a new all-time high at $20, down to 13. It doesn't even belong here. It probably belongs at 10. Looking at Archer, these are the eVTOL companies. What is that at? 850. Under 200 EMA. It's got to hold here, hopefully. I don't know, just my watch list is full of stocks. And when they get to where they get to, I put it on. Otherwise, I don't want to play. I play at my price. It's tough enough to play at my price. And if you do chase it, FOMO it, YOLO it, you're going to get smashed. And that's the reason probably 90% of the people lose money. Bmnr pulling back now. I think this thing is moving with Octo, for sure. No, actually, it's back over 63 now. Holy crap. This is the 2-minute 1-day chart. It started here, went from 15 to 56. Now, a lot of people are going to post on X, I bet, today saying that, Bmnr owns $20 million worth, which is like 1.7 million shares at $1.45. Great. Can they sell it at 65? No. They probably have to wait 90 days for the pipe, the lockup to happen. By the time lockup happens, this thing will be like less than 10. But then still 6x, 7x of the money, right? So if you have the institutional power, you could have gotten in $1.46 today because they sold that pipe like within a minute, right? And there you go. That's, what has Bmnr done intraday? I had a nice little pop. So Bmnr was lower than 40. Okay. Sbet. This is intraday charts, by the way. 2-minute charts. Yeah, that's holding. Let's look at the 10-minute, 10-day. Yeah, it's into some resistance about 1620. Yeah, nothing to write home about. And on the 60-minute, I think, we'll have some resistance about 16.5. And then next resistance about 19. It all depends on ETH, period. Nothing more, nothing less. And let's look at the indexes. This is SPX. No, we don't want to look at the hour. Let's look at the daily, 1 year, 1 day. Yeah, this MACD is amazing what it's doing here. I mean, it hasn't, it's bearish divergence after bearish divergence, but it's just not collapsing yet. So all these new highs are on non-confirming MACD numbers, and probably look pretty the same with the RSI as well. But then again, indicators are indicators, and they're all lagging. So do I want to buy some puts on indexes? Probably. But then you can't make money. You really can't. They just grind it up like this, and triple Q is testing. It's ATH, all-time high. Again, same thing on MACD. I mean, MACD topped at 520. We're at 580 almost. And MACD is nowhere near that, so definitely bearish divergence. But then if we do scroll up here, make an all-time high. Again, I show 2 lines. You guys have seen, you say you don't draw lines. And on my charts, I have a 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA. That's about it. And why did I draw the lines? Well, once in a while, you need to go back. I just connected these 2 tops. I'll leave that line in there. Where we bounced off of during April crash, I would leave that in there. And this is a long-term trend going back, I don't know how many years. So there they are. And yeah, that goes back to the 2000 COVID crash. That's about it. I don't draw too many lines. I just don't want to clutter my charts and create biases for myself. So that's about it, folks. Hope you're having a profitable day. Nobody wants to come on. I don't know why. I'm not going to bite you. So, yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. Let's look at the positions one more time. And then I'll go have a cup of coffee. I'm holding the positions. There's not much to do. Will I day trade again today? No. I'm not a day trader. I don't like it. I mean, it's not for me. Whoever does it, good luck. And this was the one that I day traded. It's up to 732. Interesting. Yeah, we left like $3,500 on the table on that one. It's okay. Yeah, that was it right there. I bought it all the way down. Started buying it like 610. Bought it all the way to 505. I had a couple thousand more share orders. You don't know where it's going to stop, but here's on the. This is what I was looking for actually. The bullish divergence on the MACD at the 2-minute 2-minute 1-day chart, and this thing was 16. Patience, waited, put in the low, did rally, low volume, really nothing. And then when it comes down and makes a lower low by quite a bit and MACD doesn't confirm, that's a bullish divergence. You got to be snapping it. And that's what I did. These are all the buys, and then these are all the sells. And yeah, my average sale was like 640, I think, and then it's like 755. Yeah, you never know. I could have bought it again, but no. I mean, look, you make money, you go out, you go home, because all those little for me, but maybe not for others, all those numbers add up at the end of the year, right? Which, although again, I'm not a huge believer in win rate and things like that at all. I don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. What I pay attention to, though, is my account equity, because it's getting mark to market live. It never lies. It's looking at you in the face. Account equity does not lie. So I think I have trained all my members looking at account equity. You're going to have 10 different positions, and one's going to go up, one's going to go down, one's going to go sideways, one's going to make you money, lose money, unrealized gain, unrealized losses, but it's all reflected every second of the day on your account equity. That's all that matters. Like, even if you have a Robinhood account, your account equity is moving around, right? They give you day, week, month, year to date, right? All that stuff. That's what matters. How much money do you have? Do you have more money than you did the day before? Then you had a green day. You had a profitable day. And then you do it again for the week. You do it again for the month. You do it again for the quarter. And you do it for the year. And look where you are. Look at your performance. What were your drawdowns like? I bet you a lot of your drawdowns during the April crash were solid 50, 60, maybe 70%. And then market came back and saved your asses. And then look where we are now. Okay. Look, bull market, buy the dips. It works. Long periods of time, it definitely works. But trading wise, I'm not going to allow 50% drawdown in a trading account, because then I have to make 100% to get back to even. It doesn't work like that. Keep your drawdowns to max 15%, 12, 15, 8, 10, preferably. Go liquid, go cash. It's not your week. Turn the computer off. Go away. Don't be a junkie. Don't be an adrenaline junkie. That's why a lot of day traders are. They're just, I like the adrenaline. I'm like, okay, great. How much money did you make over yesterday, over a week before, over a month ago? Look at your account. That doesn't lie. It's looking at you in the face. Account equity. Anyway, so I think differently. What works for me may not work for you, but then it should. Because, anyway, so much love. Thank you for the support. Please put a thumbs up if you like it. Please share, subscribe. my YouTube manager says, tell him that. I'm like, okay. And if you're interested in becoming a member, get my trades live, get a one-on-one interaction on Wednesdays. Click join, send me an email, sergio@sergioavedian.com, and I will send you the Telegram chat group link. It's a cool group of traders. And we follow the hot hand. And one of the members that just joined, actually, I think he's a day trader, though. He has a hot head, So we just follow the hot hand like in basketball. We'll give him the ball. You shoot. We just tag along, but you just, So everybody posts on the Telegram chat group, by the way. It's not like me just running the show. Actually, people post more than I do some days, which is we talk about everything and anything. Look, the way I'm looking at these chat groups and things is 40 brains, 40 sets of eyes, 40 sets of ears. It's amazing. The support, the community, it's absolutely amazing. That's how you do it. Anyway, so I'm going to finish today. I will see you guys on Friday. So I will see my members on Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. But the rest of the crowd, regular subscribers and X or whatever, I am doing this on Friday for Power Hour. So 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, Thursday, important PPI, CPI numbers coming out. There'll be market movers. VIX is getting compressed again. So just be careful out there and do your own due diligence. Don't listen to YouTube. Just listen to me. No, but I mean, like a lot of people on YouTube have no goddamn idea what they're talking about. I mean, I'm not going to give names, but they're just charlatans. They're just salespeople. They're like the jokers on CNBC. Talk their book and put a Tom Lee picture with a bit Ethereum going to 8,000 or something. I'm like, no, don't do it, folks. It's going to hurt you more ways than one. More ways than one. Hey, thank you, Will. Cool. Thank you. Anytime, Doug. My gunslinger. Anyway, so much love. Thank you for the support. I will see you guys on Friday for Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Adios.